All right, welcome back. Welcome. If you're not a subscriber, it's easy to fix. Just press that button. Circuit de Ledenon, I think if you're getting continental. This is a challenging track. I don't know if fun is the word, but it is a challenging track, and it is practice. Practice on this one is necessary if you think you're going to go into a practice session. If you're new to this track before a race and learn it, you are not. If you watch this guide, maybe if you're really good, but this is going to take some laps to get acquainted with. It looks hard and it is hard. I've been in a few practice sessions. Temperatures varied from I think 32 to 42, and once you get into the 40s, what little grip there is becomes even less, so just watch out for that. This grip is at a premium, and the hotter it is, the worse it is. Um, Not much to change here. It's a fixed setup. The only thing you can change is the brake bias, and for this track you probably want it a little higher than usual. I think I usually run most of the tracks around 54%. This one I'm running 56. The last corner is a downhill hairpin. That's where you want to set your brake bias. So as low as you can go without locking them up, but probably you're going to want that around 56, 57, 58 perhaps. Track usage 37%, so nothing crazy. We'll go through these corners in slow-mo and then run it out at full speed. The other thing about this track is to go fast around here, you have to open up every corner. There's some places where you can cross the line, there's some places where you can't. We'll kind of talk about that. But the thing to watch out for is going really wide into a corner means someone's going to go up the inside. So watch out for that. If a car's coming in too hot on a too narrow of a line, they are probably going to be spinning. So being the outside guy is going to be pretty risky here. There's going to be a lot of spinning. So coming into turn one, looking for this Marshall box, fourth gear. Going to turn in at this Marshall box. You want to turn in early. The trick is here is you do not want to put a lot of wheel input here. Just lifting. And if you crank the wheel here, you're going to spin. That's the short of it. So as you approach the end of the curb here, shifting down into third, just managing the throttle and the brakes. I think this maybe is considered one corner. I'm not quite sure. If it's considered more than one corner, treat it as one corner. So yeah, shifting down into second, probably midway between the last curb and this next curb, and then again just managing the throttle and the brake. The first curb you don't really have to hit the apex. You can come in a little wide, no big deal. This one you do want to kind of get up to the curb here, and then just pick up the throttle on exit, working yourself all the way to extend this track and open up the next corner. You want to keep you have to keep your left tire in the track limits here. I obviously didn't use all the track. That's not the best, but there you have it. In second gear, keeping it in second gear, and just getting the car rotated. You have to watch out here. If you're on the gas too much, you are going to spin out the back end, and then keeping the tire inside the right tire inside the white line, and just opening up the wheel, letting it drift over to the right hand side. And there is a little bit of a policeman curb here. This one is, you don't really want to get onto that one. And then working your way up into third gear, getting all the way over to the left. Again, you want to keep your right hand tire for this one inside the white line, otherwise you get that X. So just as you start to turn downhill, there's not really a great marker. There's a little kink in the track. Just past the curbs here, there's kind of a kink, but you may have, if there's a car in front of you, you're not going to see it, so you're going to probably have to judge that, how far past that curb you are. Shifting down into second, this is pretty hard on the brakes, and then you don't want to turn in too early. This is a late apex. Again, if you're following the rubbered in line, that's going to get you pretty much what you want. Shifting down into first, just as you sort of start to turn in, so you can use the end of the grass here as sort of the turn-in marker. Still hard on the brakes, and then releasing the brakes, turning in. You want to get onto this curb, picking up the throttle as early as you can, and then just opening up the wheel and letting it drift out to the left. If you don't get into the real camber of that corner, you are probably going to run wide. However, you can cross the white line here. Different rules for different corners. So yeah, use all the track out here. Obviously, you don't want to touch that grass. And again, working yourself all the way over to the left, keeping your left tire inside the track because you do get an X for this one. Again, no really great brake marker. If there's a car in front of you, you can use this white line where it turns in about a few car lengths in front of it. You want to get on the brakes, but if there's a car in front, you're not going to see it. So this tire barrier is a good marker. Depends on your view. A few car lengths before that, getting on the brakes hard. Again, this is a bit downhill, and there's track past here, so you got to get on those brakes earlier than you think. Down into first and just releasing the brake as you turn in, and you want to cut this corner here as much as you can. You don't want to really get onto that risen pavement. Just keep it onto the curb there, and picking up the throttle. Again, you got to keep your tire inside the white line for this one. And then at the end of the curb here, turning in. This one, you have to use all of this. You got to cut this corner as much as possible. It is an X if you cross that white line, so watch out. Up into third. Now coming over this hill, it's a little tricky. You get a bit of a bump here. The track's a little bumpy right here. If you are hugging this white line, if your right-hand tire's hugging this if your right-hand tire's hugging this line, these little bumps can disrupt the car a little bit, and actually you end up getting over the white line and you get an X. Not a big deal in the race, but in your quali lap, that's going to be a bit of an issue. So keeping it inside the track limits as much as possible. Third gear, opening this up, just a bit of a lift, obviously more of a lift when tires are cold, and you want to cut this corner a bit here. Again, you have to keep the tire inside the line for this one. And then just picking up the throttle, letting the car run out wide, and you're looking for this, what are we talking about here? This grate for the rain. Again, this is one now where you can cross the line. So in third gear, so braking at that grate, down into second, and then as you're looking for the end of the curb here is sort of the turn in, releasing the brakes, and as you get into the camber of this corner, down into first gear, you need to get into first gear in order to rotate the car. The fixed setup it's got a lot of understeer and not great rotation. You need to get into first gear to make this corner. If you come at this wide, you're probably going to be looking at that sand or going over the white line, because on exit you can't cross the white line. Tricky one here. Top of the hill, the crest of the hill is where you want to turn in. You can also use this tire barrier again as a turn-in marker. It's really important to get this one. You lose a lot of time if you run wide here, or if you turn in too early, you're going to get a slowdown. If you are, I think it's if you're inside the white line, you get an X, but if you're inside the curb, you get a slowdown. It's a painful one, so watch out for that. Third gear, and then yeah, just picking up the throttle as early as possible, letting the car run out wide. Down into second gear just before, well, down into first gear just before the end of the curb here, turning in, and you have to have the car slow down. This is very easy to lose the back end here, so just watch out. Turning in, and again, this is one you got to keep the tire inside the white line. And unwinding the wheel, there is a green bit of curb here. You can get on that, cut the corner as much as you can. It's not going to disrupt the car too much if you just graze that green stuff. And then letting the car run out to the left. And I like to get on top of this. You got to keep your tire in the white line, but getting onto this curb helps straight line it into this hairpin, and this is the one where you're going to want to set your brake bias. So holding it in third gear, if you're drafting off somebody, you may be getting up into fourth gear here, but I would, yeah, third gear is a little safer. It's a long way to the apex, but this is quite a downhill slope, and you have to brake earlier than you think. There's not a great marker, this green bit, judging how far away you are from it. You could use this camera post here, but basically once you come through this section, hopefully you've come through it all right, and once you get the wheel straight, basically it's time to brake. And it's hard on the brakes, down into second, down into first eventually here, and it's really important you have to get into the camber of this corner to make this corner. Just releasing the brake, picking up the throttle as early as possible. If you're wide here, you're probably going to be seeing that sand, and that's not good. On exit here, again, you have to have the car inside the white line. Just one of those fun corners for this track. You have to know which ones you can cross and which ones you can't to go fast. And then just straight lining it as much as possible, shortening the track. So yeah, that's a 126.5. That's middle of the tank. We're doing 126.5.6. So race distance is going to be probably 8 or 9 laps. So you know that's middle of the tank. You may see some 125s from the really fast guys. So, but I think if you're in the mid 126s, low 126s, you're definitely going to be competitive. So we'll run it out at full speed. Good luck. You're going to need it for this one.